I screwed up. Alrighty, so what I'm about to show you is my screw up. So, alright, here are two drive shafts, and we're probably all thinking, well, I thought you only had one for the Mustang. Surprise, it's full. So this is okay. So this drive shaft right here is my old drive shaft. This one was severely damaged. Yeah, so like you can see, it had a nasty. It held up for a nasty downshift. That, oh yeah, here you go. Yeah, the gouge. That, you know, it held up for a nasty or it took a nasty downshift, shook the rear end, screwed it all up, snapped a U joint in half. Yeah, that was not fun. Not fun at all. So I had to fix this at the racetrack in the parking lot by replacing the U-joint, yeah, with like a Neanderthal with a hammer and stuff, and put a new one in there, limped it back home, which was nice that I could drive it home. Then I was like, hey, I'm going to upgrade. I'm going to do better. I'm going to get another one that's going to be better, stronger, and I'm going to make this a 1350 U-joint instead of the 1310, because that's bigger and better and would hold up to more abuse, because I was changing one of these like once a year. But so I called up Driveshaft Shop and I said, hey, give me this drive shaft. And they're like, I already know the dimensions. You make it this long. That's what came out. So, well, are you changing something? Because you mentioned how you're making suspension adjustments. You mentioned how you wanted to go up in size on the U-joint. I think you need to go ahead, reassemble the car, and take a new measurement. Well, I took a new measurement, and I screwed it like I knew I would. So, anyways, so if I have these, you know, same size, you can tell that I told Driveshaft Shop, make it that much longer. Let's see. Yeah, make it half an inch longer, right? That's so convenient. So I got the drive shaft. I had trouble kind of, you needed to squeeze it in. Let's say that. Let's just say you had to squeeze it in for it to fit in the car. And whenever I bolted it back up, I got it rolling on the road. I had a driveline vibration about 80 miles an hour. So I was like, you know what? I made some changes. I changed the ride height. I changed several things. So let me go ahead and readjust the pinion angles. That's got to be it. Well, I readjusted it. Then I did some more testing. Well, what I found during my testing is I still have that driveline vibration at about 100 miles an hour. 110, it's kind of like, ugh. 120, it feels unsafe. So I was like, something's wrong. Talked to the Driveshaft Shop and like, hey, the tires, they're fine. You know, I just fixed the pinion angle, but what do you guys think might be the issue for having an on throttle vibration at 110 plus miles per hour? One thing they suggested was, hey, why don't you go into the car, sometimes this helps, unbolt the drive shaft, clock it 180 degrees, bolt it back up. Sometimes that does the trick. But I got under there and they said, while you're there, take this particular measurement. And the particular measurement that they're talking about is this guy. The distance between the back of this flange to the tube. Now, if I put this guy up there, you're going to see it's right close to 3.5 inches, maybe a little bit shorter. That's ideal. That's with this resting. Now, to give an idea of what I was talking about resting, this can go inward and it can go outward. This guy can move. So based on, suspension articulating, this has a little bit of room for compressing and extending based on the radius of your rear axle whenever it compresses the suspension or it separates the suspension. So that's the point of that. That way it stays connected, stays engaged. CV, constant velocity. Well, the issue I'm having, as you can tell, is, well, if you haven't, sorry, not as you can tell, but if you haven't added things up, this drive shaft is 1/2 inch too long. And in fact, you could probably argue that it's maybe 5/8 too long, because when this is bolted in, I'll maybe see if I can put a picture up on the screen. This measurement here is bottomed out. I mean bottomed out. That is exactly what was causing my driveline vibration. So I reported this back to Driveshaft Shop. I'm like, hey guys, I emailed them back and forth, showing them proof of measurements and things like that. So I am still waiting for that response back for them of what's going to happen. What do we need to do? Do I need to send this drive shaft back to them to be shortened? Do I buy a whole new drive shaft, or how does this all work? I don't know the mechanics of all this, but that's what's got to happen is somehow, whether it comes in the form of a new drive shaft or that drive shaft, I've got to lose maybe about 1/2 inch, 5/8 of an inch, because then it's going to put that sweet spot of 3/4 of an inch to be the tightest that Driveshaft Shop recommends that the drive shaft be as far as it being compressed, to 3 3/4, which is the furthest they want that CV joint extended. So that's where you see when we pull that measurement, 3.5 is like perfect, because that's it relaxed. That's in its most neutral space, or neutral, resting. Yeah. So it at rest, not compressed or extended. 3.5 inches is where you want it. Then that gives you, 1/4 inch of play. And if I were to be a betting man, there's probably like a little bit more for error, but at the same time, that's not what it was engineered for. It was engineered so it only had a 1/4 inch of play. So let's play with those rules for something that spins that fast underneath the car. So that's the update on the driveline vibration. I've found, I guess you could say, the smoking gun, which is basically my measurement on that custom drive shaft that I had ordered and replaced after I tore up my old one. So yeah, so now we wait, and I will keep you guys updated as to what the Driveshaft Shop says will need to happen, and I'll keep you updated for when we kind of get things done. So if I do need to move the car, I can definitely bolt up the drive shaft, and that way I can move it to and from. But as you can see, we have it lifted up in the air so we can get some work done underneath it. And yeah, because the next thing we're going to do is install these dang headers. So we've got plenty of things to do and plenty of things to take care of before we can even put a drive shaft back in the damn car. So anyways, that's the update on the driveline vibration. And I will, go ahead and hit a like, comment down below your thoughts on driveline vibration. And if you're new here, why don't you think about subscribing? And I appreciate you guys watching.